Hello, class. This is Mr. DeVoe-Peterson. You're in CIT-15 Computer Concepts. And what I'd like to do is share with you my screen. And let's get started. Let's start with the Fresno City College webpage. All right. That's where all of your stuff is, right? That's how you get started in this class. Let me move some things out of the way. And there's hopefully you can see all this. Okay. So Fresno City College.edu. Now, how do you get to Canvas and how do you get to your email? It's my portal. That's where you get there, right? And you'll sign in with your student ID and you get in there. And when you do that, you'll get to this is Canvas, and it has some nice capabilities like messaging. Nice, but it's not always successful. So make sure you use the email. That's my preference. And I'm trying to get you ready for the business world, and you use email, not messaging. It's just more secure and it's a little easier to understand. Okay, so how is Canvas set up? Well, it's set up in modules. Let me go to the home page, and that's where I'm going to put messages for you. And I'll change these messages every week. Twice a week, I'll be messaging you through this home page. I'll put them right at the top here so you see it. And before you go into the modules, in this case, you have kind of my beginning get started message. This is letting you know class starts on the 23rd of June. You're probably reading this the weekend before class starts. You'll be getting an email from me for registered students to get registered, and you would do that through the Fresno City College website. You'll actually get registered when I'm talking about registered into my T-Lab, which is kind of critical. There's really two different platforms for this class. There's what you're used to, Canvas in the Fresno City College website, and then there's the publisher's content, which is not integrated in Canvas in my class as a separate login, and I'll show you that. So two different systems you get into. So read the beginning email that I send you, and it's, let me just jump to it. It's right at the bottom of the syllabus. This is what you're going to get, right? A reminder when class starts that lets you know that we're using my T-Lab and Canvas, and let you know right in here. This is kind of critical, this part. This is getting registered in my T-Lab. This is where most of your content lives. So it's important that you get it done by Wednesday of the first week, right? So getting back to Canvas, since we started here, notice that Canvas is set in sections or modules. That's what they call it, modules here on the left. And I have three to get you started. I've got virtual resources here, kind of supportive information, tutorial services, and so forth. The syllabus, which I am going to look at in just a minute. Frequently asked questions. Some more getting started with my T-Lab, which is where the bulk of your content lives, as far as Office and doing the hands-on lab tests. So these are videos to get you started. Really critical that you view them. This is tech support. This is Office 365 if you don't have it. Office in the cloud doesn't work. It doesn't have all the functions you need as the installed version of Microsoft Office on your computer. Now, you can use the cloud version of Office in the cloud for everything but the three hands-on tests, Word, Excel, and Access. For that, you need the installed version of Microsoft Office. So, that's why I give you a link here to get it. You can rent it, I think, for $7 a month if the installed version, or buy it. Or maybe it's $10 a month now with inflation. But critical that you know that. And if you have access to Office installed on a computer at work, or you can come to the Fresno City College Library, you can use that to get it done. So week one, what do you got to do? You got to get registered in my T-Lab by Wednesday. If not, you're dropped, because I need to make room for students that are on the wait list. You have to do the My T-Lab training and assessment. And here's the link to go to My T-Lab. We won't jump to that yet. This is reading the chapter 1 in your book, Technology in Action. If you're logged into my T-Lab already, you won't have to. When you click here, this goes to Pearson Plus, which is the ebook. When you buy my T-Lab, you get the ebook. You don't have to buy it separate. It's all included, which is kind of cool. This is the narrated PowerPoint for chapter 1. This is the study guide questions, right? And these are quiz questions without answers. I give them to you so you can look them up and figure it out. And this is the quiz for chapter 1, right? This is week 1 chapter quiz. So here it is. Where is it? It's in Canvas. Where am I now? I'm in Canvas. So bang, you go right there and you take it. That's week 1. Week 1's kind of light. I think you'll like it. But a lot of this is new, getting used to everything. So, I get that. And then I'm going to do individual little recordings for you every week. I'll jump into week 2 just so you can see. We went from 1 chapter in your ebook, Technology in Action, to 4 chapters, right? Things ramp up. So, well, look, we have a 6-week class. You're doing 18 weeks worth of work. That's why they ramp up. You're doing your triple time here. So chapters 2, 4, 5, and 6, there's study guide questions. There's narrated PowerPoints. There's the ebook in Pearson Plus that you can read. I would expect you to do all those things. There's also week 2 in Canvas. This is a hands-on test for Word. All right, you'll download a document, and I'll do a recording on this. You'll download a document onto your computer, and then you'll use the Office installed on your computer and complete task and upload for grading. So this is a tour of the training, how it works, and hands-on tests. And then these are your quizzes for the 4 chapters right there. It's a busy week. Week 2 and week 3 are really tough. So hang in there. I think things get easy by week 4. Okay, don't look at week 2 to 3 too carefully. It looks a little busy. Week 4 is a little. I wanted to get here quickly for you. Week 4 gets a little easier. Just 2 chapters in your Technology in Action. Just 2 chapters in my IT Lab, Access chapters 1 and 2, and just 2 quizzes. So a little break in week 4, which is great. I thought you'd appreciate that. A little break in week 5, again, just 2 chapters, 8 and 9. And then the last 2 chapters in Access chapters 3 and 4. Week 5, week 6. All right, you have a final in week 6. Okay, so that's Canvas. That shows you everything. Weekly format. So we're good with that. This is the course. This is the course outline. This is the syllabus. Let me go to the very top. I tried to, parallel what you see in Canvas in the course syllabus. Things are broken up in weeks because I need it to be crystal clear what your assignments are so there's no confusion. Again, get registered in my IT Lab by Wednesday, pay for it by Saturday the 28th. Here's a training and assessment that assignment that you need to do. That's and I'm going to show that to you in my IT Lab. And here are the chapter 1, and you're going to read, narrated PowerPoint, and quiz. Chapters 2, I mentioned, or not chapter 2, week 2, I mentioned things ramp up for weeks 2 and 3. It's busy. There's a lot you're taking on this summer. 4 chapters in Microsoft Word, chapters 1 through 4, trainings and assessments, and 4 chapters in your ebook, and 4 quizzes. So it's busy, right? Week 3, same way, busy. What happens week 4? Like I said, a little break, 2 chapters in Access, 2 chapters in your ebook, chapters 11 and 10. Week 5, another break for you. So I know you had a tough weeks 2 and 3. Week 5, again, just 2 chapters in Access. And you'll find Access easier than Excel. It's an easier program to learn. Though Excel, that you're going to do in week 3, it's really critical that you understand it for employment purposes. It's one of the top 10 skills employers look for, knowing how to do a spreadsheet. So it's critical you do it. And then the final exam. Okay, so no office hours. So how do you get a hold of me? You email me. That's how you do that. What do you need for this class? You need a computer or a Mac. If you have a Mac and you don't have access to a computer, a PC computer, you have a couple options. You can put VMware on it, right? Virtual software, and then you can install Office on or Microsoft Windows on it, and then install Office on it. It's a 3-step process. It's a lot of work. I would recommend you go to the library or work with a PC with Office installed and internet access, and you do the 3 hands-on tests that way. And now don't worry about doing VMware and installing, Windows and Office and all that on your Mac. I wouldn't do it, but I have once or twice I've had students try it, so that's fine, and they did fine. All right, so high-speed internet. This is the critical part. That's why I highlighted it. You need to purchase my IT Lab, the software. That's the bulk of the training for Microsoft Office. It's all in there in Windows 10. So, and here's the link to do it. You can go to the bookstore. This is cheaper using the link and doing it online, right? And so it's a Technology in Action 18th edition, and it does include the ebook, which is kind of cool. Here's my IT Lab tech support. Now, why would you need that? Well, maybe you've got pop-up blockers turned on your computer and you need help turning them off. Well, then you go to my IT Lab Tech Support. They walk you through it. Um, are you using Chrome as your browser? Well, they'll probably recommend you do that. So again, that's kind of helpful. This is just knowing if you want to, if you have a PC, which is the easiest way to do this. I have both PCs and Macs, but if you have a PC, you need to install Microsoft Office on it. Office and the cloud won't quite do it. So this is just a note how to do it. Some links, attendance. If you miss any 2 1-week periods, you're dropped from class. You know, in a 6-week class, you just can't miss much. You drop a grade a week if you miss your assignments. Yeah, so don't do that. Deadlines are highlighted in yellow. And notice the first Wednesday for week 1, the 25th. You got to be registered in my T-Lab and paid for on the 28th. This is grading. I'll let you read it. And this is a little bit about trainings and assessments, which I'll let you read that. You're capable of doing that. Due dates are in yellow. A little bit about no cheating. Okay, so we've done that. Now, this is my T-Lab. And this is the class. This is CIT-15 2025 summer. And the my T-Lab course ID is 21912. Where else did I give that to you? Right down here, 21912. Here's the link you'll click on, and that's the course link. So in my T-Lab, when you click on it, you'll go into it, and your assignments are kind of grouped in week by week, right? So week 1, week 2, they're all listed here. Week 3, and this is where, you know, I'll note that you have a quiz for your 4 chapters in week 3 and your 4 chapters in week 2, but notice it says in Canvas, so you'll take those in the Canvas website. I just want to list it here to let you know it. You've got a quiz in case you go here a lot. So week 1, here's the Windows training. You click it to go into it. What does it look like? I'll do a separate video on that one. All right, this is just an overview of the course. And this is, I think I have a password on it now anyway. This is the training, this is the assessment, and this is the quiz. And it says in Canvas in parentheses, meaning that's where you go to take it. Where was it? It was in week 1, right there in Canvas. So 2 different systems, Canvas and my T-Lab. For Canvas, we have the narrated PowerPoints and study guides and the quizzes. In my T-Lab, you have the labs, the training, that train you how to use the applications, which is kind of critical. Windows 10. We're on 11 now, but this gives you the basic concept of how to do it. I put the quizzes up here for week 2 first, and then I list, the trainings and assessments. I would do it in that order. Do a chapter 1 training, then a chapter 1 assessment. Do them in that order. I think you'll find that easier. And these lab tests, you download them. I don't want to make this first video too long, so I'll do a week 1 video to walk you through that so you see how to do it each week. Again, I have little separators here, and these are, again, they mirror what you saw in the course outline and what you see in Canvas in a weekly format. Hopefully, you find that easy. I think you will. What else? Let's not make this too long. Where's the course outline? Here it is. Where's the course outline? How do you get a hold of me? I said email, right? So here it is right there. There's the email. Send me an email if you have a question. That's how to get a hold of me. In my T-Lab, or rather in Canvas, you see the syllabus here. If I click it here and it pops up, sometimes in Zoom, it doesn't show you pop-up windows. That's why I open this in a separate window. This is what you would see, right? So get a hold of me right away if you have any questions. Make sure you understand the concept that, there's a lot of stuff in Canvas, mainly the study guides and the quizzes, right? And there's a lot of stuff in my T-Lab. They work together in tandem. You've got to do both. So that's critical. I think that's it. I hope I answered kind of the beginning questions. Look, this is a really helpful class. It's kind of the starter class if you're going to take other technology courses. If you can get through this course, you'll have no problem doing some of the advanced networking or security or programming classes. This kind of has enough rigor to give you a taste of and a feel for the classes that follow, and they're really important that you understand them. So let me let me stop sharing my screen. And if you have any questions, let me hear from you. All right. All right. Good luck and welcome to class. Bye for now.